This is the part 2 of the story, Fractured Friendship. As they began mentoring young entrepreneurs, sharing their expertise and experience, initially the partnership flourished and their venture gained popularity. However, as time passed, Victor started to notice that Ikenna was receiving more attention and recognition. Clients and colleagues would often reach out to Ikenna for guidance and advice, seeking his direction on business matters. Victor began to feel overshadowed and resentful, harboring feelings of jealousy. One day, Victor's jealousy boiled over, and he made a drastic decision. He started to sabotage Ikenna's efforts, spreading rumors and lies to tarnish his reputation. He manipulated situations to make it seem like Ikenna was unreliable and untrustworthy. As the poison of jealousy consumed Victor, he convinced himself that he was the true mastermind behind their success and that Ikenna was merely a hindrance. The once strong friendship crumbled and the business partnership began to fray. The young entrepreneurs they had mentored began to take sides. Sensing the tension between the two former friends, the business suffered and the reputation of both Ikenna and Victor was damaged. In the end, the jealousy and resentment that Victor harbored destroyed the very thing that had brought them together, their friendship and business partnership. As the days went by, Ikenna noticed a change in Victor's behavior and the way he was being treated by their colleagues and clients. He couldn't understand why people were suddenly questioning his integrity and expertise. One of their mentees, a young woman named Sarah, approached Ikenna with concern about Victor's action. She revealed that Victor had been telling people that Ikenna was trying to sabotage the business and that he was the only one who truly cared about their success. Ikenna was devastated. He couldn't believe that his friend and partner would stoop so low. He tried to confront Victor, but Victor denied any wrongdoing and accused Ikenna of being paranoid. The tension between them continued to escalate until they reached a breaking point. In a heated argument, Victor revealed his true feelings, saying that he had always felt overshadowed by Ikenna and that he was tired of being in his shadow. Ikenna was heartbroken. He realized that Victor's jealousy had consumed him, and their friendship was beyond repair. With a heavy heart, Ikenna decided to dissolve their business partnership and go their separate ways. The aftermath was difficult for both of them. Their reputation had been damaged and they lost many of their clients and mentees. But Ikenna emerged from the experience wiser and more resilient. He rebuilt his business and continued to mentor young entrepreneurs, always mindful of dangers of jealousy and the importance of trust and communication. Victor, on the other hand, struggled to recover. His reputation had been tarnished, and he was left alone to ponder the consequences of his actions. He eventually realized that his jealousy has destroyed the very thing that had brought him success and happiness, his friendship and partnership with Ikenna. Years later, Victor was shadow of his former self. His business had failed and he was struggling to make ends meet. He would often think back to his partnership with Ikenna and wonder what could have been if he had only managed his jealousy. One day, Victor received an invitation to a business conference where Ikenna was scheduled to speak. He hesitated at first, but something inside of him compelled him to attend. As he listened to Ikenna's speech, he was struck by his former partnership wisdom and humility. Ikenna spoke about the importance of trust, communication, and empathy in business partnership. He also shared his own experience, including the painful lesson he learned from their failed partnership. Victor was moved to tears. He realized that he had been given a second chance to make things right. He waited until the end of the conference and then approached Ikenna. To his surprise, Ikenna welcomed him with open arms. They hugged and Victor broke down in tears. Apologizing for his past mistakes, Ikenna forgave him and they began to rebuild their friendship again. This time, their relationship was different. Victor had learned from his mistakes and he made a conscious effort to manage his jealousy and insecurities. They started working together again, but in a smaller scale, and their partnership flourished once more. As the years passed, Ikenna and Victor's rebuilt friendship continued to grow stronger. However, unbeknownst to Ikenna, a new threat was lurking in the shadows. Victor's wife had been the mastermind behind the initial plan to sabotage Ikenna. She had manipulated Victor's insecurity and fueled his jealousy, orchestrating the downfall of their friendship. Victor's wife's thirst for power and control had not been quenched, and she began to secretly plot against Ikenna once again. She convinced Victor to take drastic measures, including hiring assassins to eliminate Ikenna. Victor, still vulnerable to his wife's manipulation, agreed to her plan. However, the assassination attempt failed, and Ikenna remained unaware of the danger that had been lurking around him. Victor, wrecked with guilt and paranoia, confided in a trusted friend, Jack, about his involvement in the plot. Jack, horrified by Victor's revelation, urged him to come clean to Ikenna and make amends. But Victor's wife's grip on him was too strong, and he couldn't bring himself to confess. The weight of his secrets and lies began to tear him apart, and his friendship with Ikenna started to frail once more. Meanwhile, Ikenna began to notice a change in Victor's behavior and sensed that something was amiss. He couldn't quite put his finger on it, but he felt a growing distance between them. As he dug deeper, he discovered a trail of clues that led him to the shocking truth: Victor's involvement in the assassination attempt and his wife's sinister manipulation. Ikenna felt betrayed and heartbroken. He couldn't understand why Victor would resort to such heinous acts. The friendship that had once been rebuilt now seemed irreparably damaged. The question on Ikenna's mind was, could their friendship ever be salvaged, or was it too late? Ikenna confronted Victor, his voice shaking with emotion. "How could you, Victor? How could you stoop so low?" Victor, filled with remorse, broke down and confessed everything. He told Ikenna about his wife's manipulation, his own weaknesses, and the failed assassination attempts. Ikenna listened, trying to process the magnitude of Victor's betrayal. He felt like he was living in a nightmare. "Why didn't you come to me, Victor? Why did you let it go this far?" he asked, his voice heavy with sorrow. Victor had no answer. He knew he had made a grave mistake, and he didn't expect forgiveness, but he hoped for understanding and a chance to make things right. His wife, however, was not willing to let go of her grip on him. She appeared, her eyes blazing with anger, and tried to justify her actions. "I did it for us, Victor. I did it to protect our interests." But Victor had finally seen the truth. He realized that his wife's obsession with power and control had consumed him, and he wanted out. "No, I won't let my wife manipulate me anymore. I'm done." With those words, Victor began to break free from his wife's grasp. One day, Victor went to Ikenna's house to make amends. Victor stood at Ikenna's doorstep, his eyes cast downward in shame. "Ikenna, I knew I messed up. I let my own darkness consume me, and I hurt you and our friendship. I'm truly sorry." Ikenna's expression remained stern, his arms crossed. "Sorry isn't enough, Victor. You manipulated me, used our friendship for your own gain. I can't trust you again." Victor nodded, understanding. "I don't expect you to, but please, Ikenna, forgive me. I will do anything to make it right." Ikenna's voice was firm. "There's nothing you can do. Victor, our friendship is fractured, and I don't see a way to mend it. We are done." Victor's eyes welled up with tears as he turned away, defeated. He knew he had lost his dear friend, and it was all his own doing. As the day went by, Victor tried to move on, but the weight of his mistake lingered. He realized that his action had not only hurt Ikenna, but also damaged his own self-respect. Meanwhile, Ikenna focused on nurturing new friendships, ones built on trust and mutual respect. Though he still thought of Victor, he knew that some wounds ran too deep to heal. Years went by and their paths crossed occasionally, but the warmth of their once strong friendship had faded. Victor's attempts to reconnect were met with polite but distant response from Ikenna. The fractured friendship remained, a reminder of the fragility of trust and the power of forgiveness. Though Victor continued to hope for a reconciliation, Ikenna had made it clear, some bonds once broken can never be fully restored. and the fractured friendship remained. Please subscribe to this channel. See you next time. Bye.